On today's episode, we'll be discussing how to create a personal growth plan. And the first thing that we have to remind ourselves is that growth doesn't just happen. And growth never occurs simply because we get older or simply because we continue to live life or because we've been in a situation or an environment for so long. That's not how we ultimately grow. There's a quote by Larry Winget that says, "Nobody ever wrote down a plan to be broke, fat, or lazy. Those things are what happen when you don't have a plan." And so in order to grow, we've got to be intentional about our growth. And in order to maximize our potential and our success, personal growth has to be a lifelong commitment for all of us. James Allen says, "People are anxious to improve their circumstances but are unwilling to improve themselves. They therefore remain bound." So if you have dreams, if you have goals, if you have aspirations, you need to grow in order to achieve them. A time comes when we all have to stop wanting or waiting to be the man or woman that we want to be and actually start being the man and or woman that we want to be. And no one improves by accident. It doesn't just happen. And if we want to improve our life, we must improve ourselves. So today, I'm going to share with you 8 steps for creating a personal growth plan. And the first thing that we want to keep in mind is that we want to create a space for growth, creating a space to think, finding a place where you can focus, finding a place where you can be creative, where you can explore your inner thoughts. And sometimes in order to do that, we have to get away from the hustle and the bustle of our everyday, chores and responsibilities. We have to find a quiet space, a thinking space. And so for me personally, when I create my personal, growth plans, I like to get away either out of the country or out of state and just kind of be in isolation. It gives me time to ultimately kind of focus and to become in alignment with the things that I'm prioritizing and the things that I want to focus in on, how I can further grow myself. So finding that space is the first step in creating a personal growth plan. Step number 2 is to simply identify or to obtain a journal or a notebook in which you are going to write things down. So you don't want to grab a journal or a notebook that's filled already with half pages of other notes and so on and so forth. Get a dedicated journal or notebook that you're going to write down your steps, your plans of action, and your growth goals in. The third thing you want to do is to begin to ask yourself questions and reflect on all of the following areas of your life and identify the areas in which you want and or need to make certain improvements in to create progress. And as you ask yourself these questions, be sure to write your answers down. So the first area is spiritual growth. Am I where I want to be spiritually? How much time do I spend praying? How much time do I spend meditating? How much time do I spend with God? How much time do I spend helping to serve others? How much time do I spend reading the Word? So these are the questions that you want to ask and pose to yourself and write down the answers as it relates to spiritual growth. The next area is personal growth. And you have to know who you are in order to grow to your potential. But you have to grow in order to know who you are. So it's important as well as we think about personal growth, we pay attention to our passions because our passions ultimately help fuel our growth. So when it comes to personal growth, we want to ask ourselves the following questions. Am I doing things in my life that help make me better? That helps create progress? Am I doing the things that I am passionate about? What are my passions? Do I know what those passions are? Do I know my purpose? Do I need to spend time seeking and discovering my purpose? What is my purpose? What skills, talents, gifts, and abilities do I have that I can further cultivate to create opportunities and to create impact? Am I investing time to further develop my current skills? Am I investing time to learn new skills and skill sets? Am I investing enough time reading? Am I investing enough time attending conferences, trainings, seminars, different learning opportunities? Do I need to seek a mentor? Do I need to seek a business or personal growth coach or a success coach? Do I need an accountability partner? Am I remaining focused on the most important things in my life? Am I prioritizing the right things? Do I have a teachable spirit? Am I always looking to learn? Or have I already arrived? Do I know it all? So these are the questions that we want to ask when it comes to personal growth. And remember, it's about progress, not perfection. When it comes to our mental health, we have to ask ourselves the following questions. What are the quality of my thoughts and my attitude? Am I happy? Am I positive? Do I have joy? Have I forgiven myself? Am I still living in the past from my past mistakes? Do I have good habits to help me de-stress? These are the things that we want to ask ourselves when it comes to our mental health. The next area is finances. How well do I handle my money? Do I have a budget? Do I have a savings plan? Do I keep track of my finances and know where my money is going? How much do I need to acquire for whatever it is that I desire? How much do I need to have to be able to retire? How much do I want to have to be able to leave behind to those that will come behind me and lead to other loved ones? When it comes to relationships, these are the questions that we have to ask ourselves as we're creating our personal growth plan. What is the quality and value of the relationships of those closest to me? My family, my friends, partners, girlfriends, boyfriends, colleagues. Does this person or persons help add value to me? Do I help add value to those that are around me? Does this person not just tell me what I want to hear, but they tell me what I need to hear? Do the people around me encourage me? Do I have people in my corner or in my circle that I can trust and confide in? Do I have people around me that motivate me and inspire me to be my very best? Do I have people that challenge me and push me? Are the people around me negative? Are they dream killers? Do they encourage me to be the least that I can be? What type of impact do those around me have? Do I spend enough time with those that are important to me? It said that we are the average of the 5 people that we hang or spend the most of our time with. So ask yourselves about our relationships. Are they adding value? Are they adding to us, or are they taking away? Are they draining us? When it comes to our free time and our recreational time, these are questions that we have to pose to ourselves. How do I spend my time outside of work? Do I make time for the things that I love and enjoy doing? Do I take time to relax? Do I allow myself to have fun without feeling guilty? Do I spend an adequate amount of time enjoying life, but also do I spend enough time working on other areas of my life that need further development when I am not working. So how do I spend my free time, my downtime, my recreational time? The next area is my career. I must ask myself, do I feel a sense of purpose with my work? Do I enjoy what I'm doing? Do I feel a sense of fulfillment? Do I feel like I'm a contributor in my current work environment? Do I feel that even if this is not where I want to be long term, that this is a place where I can still learn, grow, gain new experiences, and gain valuable knowledge on my journey? When it comes to our physical health, these are the questions that we must ask ourselves. Am I pleased with how I take care of my body? Am I pleased with my physical health? Do I get enough exercise each day, each week? Do I eat a balanced diet? Do I get enough sleep each day? Do I need or do I want to shed a few pounds? What is my ideal goal, weight, size, or shape? When it comes to my home environment, I must ask myself these questions. Am I comfortable with my living space? Do I enjoy the area that I'm living in? Am I comfortable with whom I share my home with? And do I feel comfortable and safe and secure in my home environment? So remember, as we are asking ourselves these questions in the various areas of our lives, be sure to write things down. Write it all down. Write down your answers. Write down how you feel. So the next step, step 4, once you've done that, is to identify your why, which is so important. Identify why you are purpose here on earth, and also identify why you want to grow. Why do you want to further improve yourself? And that why is different for each and every person. That why may be your mother, it may be your child, it may be your spouse, it may be a loved one. You have to discover what your why is. And your why has to be stronger than your personal feelings and whether or not you feel like doing certain things. So think of it as this. Who or what is that thing that you're willing to sacrifice and or even maybe die for that's greater than yourself? That's your why. So that's what's going to push you, to propel you, to motivate you when your personal feelings tell you that I don't feel like doing the things that I need to do and should do. I feel like being lazy. I feel like not doing whatever it is that I need to do. But when you think of your why, you can continue on, you can push further, and you can push through and make yourself be more disciplined to be and to grow into the person, the man, the woman, the husband, the wife, the boyfriend, the girlfriend, whatever it may be that you ultimately desire and aspire to become. Step 5 is you then want to prioritize what areas you want to first start working on and creating further growth in those areas. So going back to the various areas of our life where we've asked ourselves these questions, then identify 1 to 3 areas that we want to start prioritizing and focusing in on our growth. Only 1 to 3 areas you want to start off with. Once you do that, step 6 is we want to further define our goals in those areas and how we will create a plan on how we can make the improvements that we ultimately desire to create growth in. So this is where we also must become very specific and don't just use general terms. So be very specific and very detailed. So example would be, I cannot just say, okay, well, personal growth, okay, well, I want to be rich, or I want to make a lot of money, or I want to, I want to lose weight. It needs to be very specific and very definitive so that it can be measured. So you want to know specifically how much money you want to make. How much money do I need? So what is the actual dollar amount? When I say, okay, I want to be rich, what does that actually mean to me? Because my definition and the next person's definition may be different. So really defining and really being specific to the finite details of what it is that you want to accomplish and how you ultimately go about accomplishing these things. This is also where you're going to take time and identify and pinpoint the obstacles that need to be overcome, eliminated, or discarded so that one can grow. So sometimes there's things that we need to eliminate. There's certain obstacles that we know that we have to ultimately overcome, because the reality is, hey, this is a present obstacle. In order to get from this point to the next point, how am I going to overcome this obstacle, maneuver past it, eliminate it, discard it? So identifying those obstacles and how I plan on overcoming them. This is where you also want to identify what coaching, what training, and what skills that you need to further develop in order to further grow. So, if I say, okay, well, hey, I want to be better in managing my finances, and I want to have a savings plan, and I want to have this amount of money at the end of the day, at the end of the year, or I want to now get into investing my money and compounding interest and invest in something that's going to give me 8 to 12% annual rate of return. Well, if I don't understand different investment options or tools that are out there and different resources I can invest my money in, then I've got to take the time to ultimately learn and cultivate and grow that particular knowledge base of investments. I've got to as well identify a mentor, a coach, someone who is where I desire and or aspire to be, and learn from them so that I can become more informed. It's a continuous growth, it's continuous improvement, and it's continuous learning that is essential. So we have to identify what skills must I learn and acquire in order to grow. Who must I hire? Who must I meet? Who must I learn from? Step 7 is then we must set timelines and deadlines and measurables. So what I mean by that is, for each growth plan that we have, we want to specify a time frame and a deadline of how we're going to create progress, how we're going to create growth, and then being able to measure it. Measure how we are creating progress. Once again, it's not about perfection, it's about creating progress. And step 8 is to simply take action. So as we take time to create a personal growth plan, we want to, of course, make sure that we're doing all these things, writing these things down, take time to think, take time to reflect on all areas of our lives, identify and discover my purpose, my why, prioritize, define my goals, define my growth plan, what I need to do, stop doing, and then take action. Because it all means nothing if we don't take action. And it's never going to be a right time or an ideal time to create growth. Growth always ultimately starts right where you are. So I challenge you, I encourage you to take time out to create your personal growth plan, because growth, it doesn't just happen. And we all have to be intentional about how we can further grow and develop ourselves so we can maximize our potential and create the success that we ultimately desire.